righty. What's up, Ringside Nation? The Ring Boys are back. Down one on the night. Technical difficulties. Weird night so far. But me and Doc are here. My beautiful co-host. Doc, how are you feeling?
Yeah, we call this the good old tag team substitution. You know, last second, we switch it up on the set. Always ready for the people.
Oh, man. I got a new headset.
I'm excited. I'm glad I can make it.
New headset wasn't working. Technical difficulties. My bad. We got fights to cover. UFC 307 in Utah. Alex Pereira, Khalil Roundtree for the light heavyweight title. And Doc, I see you and I see eye to eye. I don't think Khalil Roundtree is going to be enough. I think Roundtree definitely has knockout power, but we saw what happened with Pereira the last time he fought someone southpaw, and he did the Kabi Lam meme dance over him at UFC 300, and I think that's how this is going to go. Doc?
Yeah, Alex Pereira's rise to fame, rise to the championships in UFC has been nothing short of incredible. You know, each time we see him out there, he's developed something new to his game. He has the takedown D, he has the incredible striking, and you know, although Khalil Roundtree is a knockout threat, I think that there's nobody that has pure striking right now in the UFC than Alex Pereira. So he lands one and it's over. It's almost like a little bit of elder abuse here, but you know, I have great respect for Khalil Roundtree. He has completely changed his career in the UFC. He's done incredible things. He is very exciting to watch, but I don't know of anyone right now that can stop Alex Pereira, and definitely no one that can stop him on the feet. And he gets scarier and scarier. I saw some footage of him sparring and boxing, and he looked fantastic. So this should be an exciting fight, but I don't expect it to go to the distance, and I'm not exactly sure what Khalil Roundtree's game plan will be here, but he'll miss something, and Alex Pereira will find the mark, and that'll be the end of it. This is not going to go to the distance. It's going to be KO by Alex Pereira.
Couldn't agree with you anymore. Khalil, after defeating was it Anthony Smith, called out Pereira, finally got it. And I want to bring one thing up. Obviously, picks on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, if you're streaming Spotify. Tough beans. You all hear. Let's talk about our picks in the post show. Do you think this is too early for Khalil? Because I got another guy in mind who I thought was going to fight Pereira on this card in Magomed Ankalaev, and I felt like he was more deserving of getting the call. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I don't know what Dana's deal is with Ankalaev, but clearly he's hesitant to put him into these big fights, and maybe it's because of how that like initial Johnny Walker fight went, or maybe the showing against Blachowicz. I mean, regardless, Ankalaev hasn't lost in so many years, and when he did lose, wasn't his loss to that submission guy? What's his name? Paul Craig, last final second. And if it wasn't for him getting choked out in the last second, he'd also be undefeated. And Dana doesn't like Ankalaev, and Ankalaev is upset, and rightfully so. He deserves a title shot, and he's deserved it for, I would say, years at this point. So yeah, Khalil Roundtree, sure, you get this title shot, but Magomed Ankalaev has nothing else to prove. He should be in there.
Yeah, and he's fighting Alexander Rakic at 308 at the end of the month, which just confuses me even more. Like, not only is he not getting the title shot, he has another booked fight. It's like he has nothing more to prove. So I don't know.
I agree. He has nothing more to prove, and you know, he can fight Yuri maybe if that's a good fight, but he doesn't need to prove anything else.
I think it's the stylistic aspect.
He hasn't lost in so many years. Like,
I think it's the stylistic aspect though, which we're underlooking. He's a wrestler. Pereira is a striker, and it's gonna.
Ankalaev is not a wrestler. Ankalaev is not a wrestler.
In terms of like what I think his strategy would be to beat Pereira. I think he would try to wrestle him on the ground. You don't think?
I mean, I don't think so. He doesn't have that strong of wrestling.
I don't know. I feel like that's the only way he would be able to beat Pereira.
Probably, but I don't think that's what he would want to do.
No, and I think Dana just is tired of seeing Russians just wrestle and grapple, and he's afraid of that happening again, and he doesn't want
Well, he
another.
loves Mirab Dvalishvili, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah. Well, it is what it is, but I'm glad you and I see eye to eye. I wish Artie was here to defend his Khalil Roundtree pick, but he'll have to be on the post show to defend himself after he loses, in my opinion. So we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, whenever I see women's bantamweight fights, I'm like, oh, great, this again. But Raquel Pennington, Juliana Pena, 10 years of history, both fighting Amanda Nunes. A lot of words thrown at each other at the presser. They were roommates on The Ultimate Fighter. This one's actually got some spice to it. And I'm taking Juliana Pena. She was able to beat Amanda Nunes. Unfortunately, she broke her ribs. Wasn't able to get the trilogy before Amanda retired. But I think she's just going to be sharper. Her resume is a lot more impressive. She has more experience. And she has a lot more to gain and lose than Raquel Pennington, who Raquel Pennington's wife is also on the card, which is also interesting first for the UFC. So, Doc, you and I see eye to eye on Juliana Pena, but how do you see this one going out?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing going against Juliana Pena is ring rust, and I think that could definitely play a part here. Raquel Pennington has tremendous gas tank. Raquel Pennington also has really good grappling, and we'll see if Juliana Pena is able to stay on her feet, and if she is, and she can land some stuff, it's going to go the way that we think. But I think it's going to take a round or two for Juliana Pena to get her head into the match. But at the end of the day, what she did against Nunes in that fight was incredible, and that's the image that I have in my head, and that's what I see happening here is that she's going to be able to stay on her feet, and Raquel will get tired towards the end, and Juliana Pena will be able to beat her face in.
You want to see it both? Artie sees it the opposite way. Artie sees it the other way. So we'll have to wait and see again. What we can finally do for this card, Doc, if you could prep that beautiful thing that we call a bell and ring that for me one time. Jose, the legend, Aldo, is back fighting against Mario Batista. And boy, I am so glad we all see eye to eye. Jose Aldo, first and foremost, taking him every time. Jose Aldo is an underdog. Are we kidding? That's just free money. That's just a free double up on the money. He looked really sharp back in, what was it, March, May, whenever he fought whatever his face was in one. Went to decision, or he knocked him out. I forget.
Martinez,
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think Aldo, this isn't a title shot run. Definitely, I think he just has enough in the gas tank. Jim Miller-esque. He just loves fighting. He's an experienced vet, and he's gonna go until the brakes fall off, I think. And I think he said in the press conference, he was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry the fight with Merab was very boring, ages ago, but dude, I think Aldo's like the only guy that's stuffed every Merab takedown in a fight ever. That was impressive, but nonetheless, Doc, your thoughts?"
Yeah, this should be a really exciting fight against old meets new, and last time we saw Jose Aldo make the new guy scared and completely question his abilities. And Mario Batista reminds me a lot of Jonathan Martinez. Again, super exciting fighter that has been on a great streak, but it seems like Jose Aldo paralyzes these fighters. He's a former champ. He knows what it takes. Mario Batista, though, last performance against Ricky Simon, fantastic. So we'll see. He's going to try to strike a lot, but striking with Jose Aldo is kind of dangerous. And even though he's old, he knows what to do in the ring. And it would just be another feel good story to see Jose Aldo win one. And I'm glad that he didn't retire when he did, because that last performance was just fantastic.
Three more. Do you think he retires on a loss tonight? Or I don't think so.
I mean, he's already retired, and I think it just depends on the type of performance. If he can put on a good performance, he'll keep fighting. If he looks slow out there, which he hasn't looked slow in any of these fights, then maybe he'll consider it. But he's a student of the game. He loves the art, and as long as he's able to perform at a high level, he'll continue fighting. And I think he realized that after his first retirement that he just like still has so much more left. He's taken damage, but it's not the same level of damage that some of these other fighters have taken. And I think he just wants to showcase his abilities. He feels he has some things to prove, and I don't think he minds being this gatekeeper. There's some sense of satisfaction, I think, for him to still show up at his age and beat these kids into shape.
Especially after you get paid Jose Aldo money, he probably still gets residuals and probably gets paid a little bit more than everyone else on the pay-per-view. Who else is going to need a big performance, in my opinion? Also, I think this is the first time that this ever happened on the pod. Someone actually has both fantasy fighters fighting against each other. Doc, I don't know how you did it. The loophole of Kevin Holland and Roman Dolidze. Interesting to see you take Roman Dolidze. I don't think I need to really introduce this fight. I'll just give you the floor right away.
Well, I'll say that you introduced this card as UFC 307, but realistically, you could call it UFC Doc's Fighters because, this is where I take over in fantasy. Half my team is fighting. It's almost like my Ultimate Fighter team, Team Doc over here. And we're going to get some points as long as they don't pull out in the next few days here. So Kevin Holland, Roman Dolidze, two active fighters. And Kevin Holland, I don't know, this is his fourth fight. This is exactly why I took him. Super lovable guy. Roman Dolidze, coming off a little bit of a tough stretch, but I think last fight he did win. He didn't get the knockout, but he put on a good, tough striking performance. And I'm picking Roman Dolidze here because I think Kevin Holland leaves his chin a little bit too wide open, and Dolidze has the power to end the night with one shot. That being said, Kevin Holland, also student of the game, trying to improve every single time. I just feel like he's had a rough go ever since his rise to fame, and as long as if he's focused, he can get this win. But he likes talking a lot, and he likes proving stuff, and he wants Dana to just appreciate his artwork in the ring. But sometimes it comes at a cost of a loss, and I think unfortunately he doesn't really care about the wins as much as he used to. But hey, he's going to show up, and we're gonna have a banger here. But I think for the good of the UFC, you want Kevin Holland to win. But for the good of Roman Dolidze's career, like if he can't get past Kevin Holland, then unfortunately his super fast rise is gonna come with a quick downfall.
Yeah, for me, I think Holland, like when they sized each other up at the press conference, I know Dolidze is coming down in his normal division. I don't know how you were able to type that. But Holland just looked bigger than him, honestly. Like when they were comparatively side by side, I think that's going to play an advantage because I think Roman might try to grapple with Holland a little bit more, maybe take him down. At least that's what Kevin Holland seemed. He thinks the game plan is going to be because when they strike, it's going to be a pure boxing match, and they're going to be talking, or Kevin Holland's going to be talking. Dolidze is just going to be quiet, and he's either going to let the hands do the talking or let Holland just wail all over his face. But yeah, I think
I just want to say that Kevin Holland, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and Roman Dolidze is definitely not a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So the thing that Kevin Holland has struggled with in his career is getting people down and then using this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So if Roman Dolidze decides to wrestle, I think Kevin Holland is the happiest person on the card.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just see it being a boxing match, but if Dolidze tries to grapple onto him, it's not going to go well for him. I don't think Dolidze has a chance. But either way, Doc, unless it's a draw somehow, I think you're getting at least 4 points here for your fantasy team. So I don't know how you did it. You outsmarted the game. Congratulations. I'll give it to you early as long as they make weight. What I will also just say, Kayla Harrison, thank you for showing up. You're fighting, I guess. We're all taking you, so I guess we have to ring the bell. So we'll just kind of net it all together. Doc, get that bell together for Kayla Harrison, Joaquin Buckley, and Cesar Almeida and Ryan Spann, because I'm not talking about the rest of these prelims, or I'm going to fall asleep. Yeah. But man, I think this is actually the first like Ring Boys parlay that we've had in a while. Jose Aldo, Kayla Harrison, Joaquin Buckley, Cesar Almeida, Ryan Spann that I'm actually going to bet on the side myself and pull a lot on it. I think that's a pretty good shout. So for all you betting nerds, as I like to call you, my fellow D-gens watching, that's a play and a holla for you. But anyway, anything on the prelims that you want to talk about, or do you actually want to talk about Kayla Harrison going into this fight?
I think it's reasonable to bring up Kayla Harrison. You know, Kayla Harrison comes in from PFL over there. She was the champion. Comes in here, breaks down Holly Holm, has had tremendous performances here. She, you know, I'm not a big fan of getting people the title shot early in their UFC careers, but she is one that we need to see fighting for the title. So Raquel Pennington, Juliana Pena, whoever wins that, Kayla Harrison's winning this fight. She better be up for the title next, because she has dismantled the people that she's faced in the UFC. Other fights to talk about, you know, I'm really interested in seeing this Joaquin Buckley, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fight. You know, Stephen Thompson, not many people can match up with him when they stand on the feet, and Joaquin Buckley will probably try to stand on the feet with Stephen Thompson to prove a point. So he's going to be in the way of danger there. So I think it's going to be a very exciting fight, and as long as there's no grappling, Stephen Thompson is fair game, and he can beat anybody in the welterweight division on the feet. Other fights, Cesar Almeida coming off a loss to Roman Kopylov. This is going to be a big fight coming back. Both Cesar Almeida and Ihor Potieria like to strike, but Cesar Almeida coming from that kickboxing background, where I believe he was the one that has beaten Alex Pereira in kickboxing. So Ihor Potieria better watch out because his lights are likely to get shut off. And then last, I just want to talk about Ryan Spann against Ovince St. Preux. Ovince St. Preux last fight, I think it was his last fight. He had a great performance. He came out with the win unexpectedly against some guy that I think Kennedy Njoku was might have been the fight, and he was like minus 600, and Ovince St. Preux was able to turn back the clock and win. Over here, Ryan Spann had a pretty good streak at some point, has faced some hurdles. He's also on my fantasy team, so you know we might get the full 10 points during this whole card. That's why I'm taking Ryan Spann. I think he has a lot to fight for here in Ovince St. Preux, even though he did win that fight. He's a little bit too old for the game.
Man, I can't believe that I have Halil Rountree. Maybe he upsets Pereira. Can we maybe make a clause if he beats Pereira, I get some 10 points and shake things up, and maybe I get back in the rankings now? Oh man, yeah. But yeah,
you're still waiting on Kamzat to fight one time.
Hey. Yeah, and Ankalaev's on that card too, so Artie's going to get ahead of you anyway. I don't want to hear it. But nonetheless, I definitely agree. I think Joaquin Buckley is going to be a fun, get your popcorn ready type of fight. I'm thinking of seeing, like, I don't know why the first fight that came to mind was JDM and Gilbert Burns. And I feel like that was like the stylistic matchups that I was ready to see, and I haven't been that excited for a fight since that. And Cesar Almeida, when Cesar Almeida is on a card, you watch, and oh boy, I cannot wait to watch him absolutely demolish Potieria. And then the last point I'll say, you normally bet against your fantasy fighters, so I was interested in you taking Ryan Spann. I was gonna comment on that. I was wondering, are we going back on the dog strategy here?
Yeah, you know, sometimes when this card is named after me, you know, you gotta support the fighters. You gotta support my fighters. This is my
and support the fighters. You will. Well,
so we'll see. I mean, again, that pick is coming more so for me not believing in Ovince St. Preux than I am believing in Ryan Spann. But I do think Ryan Spann has some serious talent. It's just a matter of whether or not he was putting in the work, because he has the ability. I just don't know if he has the work ethic.
That will all be tested and proven Saturday night at UFC 307 in Utah, in the great Salt Lake City. But Ringside Nation, that's going to be all. By the common man, for the common man. Follow us on socials. I know we have been doing a good job tweeting. A lot of banger fights to close out the year. We're going to try to be more consistent, try to tweet out some picks, try to get back into the betting scene a little bit more. And yeah, Doc, anything before we sign off?
We're getting up there in numbers, Was this number 55?
53, 54? I don't know. I'm getting old, dude. I can't keep track of it anymore. But
thanks to everyone that's listening.
Appreciate you all. We do this for you. And yeah, when Alex Pereira wins, and I see already on this post show, I can't wait to give him a TKO. But nonetheless, all right, we're out of here. Peace.